Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Crappy rainy day here. Oh well. Hopefully we get the sun back soon. So the topic for today, and this was inspired by a friend of mine who I was chatting with, is why you need to stop drinking pop or soda or soft drinks, whatever you happen to call it. I'm going to explain to you some reasons why it is so bad for you, why you need to cut it out of your diet. So I know it can be really refreshing, and I know a lot of you probably drink it. I used to be addicted to diet pop. I thought it was the best thing in the world. So I understand that, but maybe once you hear some of the facts, you'll be less likely to want to drink pop anymore. Hey Tom, hi Adam, how's it going? So, reasons to stop drinking pop now. First one, and this will probably get people's attention, and it's probably something people already know anyways, is that it causes weight gain. So Harvard recently linked soft drinks to obesity. Okay, so it's a fact. It actually does cause obesity. And a study done at Harvard found that 12-year-olds who drank pop were more likely to be obese than those who didn't. So, you know, that's sad. Like, kids like pop, and, you know, it's a sugary treat for them, but it can cause obesity, and no kid should have to live through that kind of discomfort. Each serving of pop consumed daily increases the risk of obesity by about 1.6 times, which is significant. So, not a good thing, not something you want to be having in your diet at all. Hey Nolan, how's it going? Hi Stan. Hey Dan. So the next one, if that didn't get your attention, is it's bad for your teeth. And probably most people kind of figure that out as well. It's sugary, right? So sugar is not good for your teeth. Hi Aurora. The other reason why it's bad for your teeth is because the acidity in it is from phosphoric acid, and phosphoric acid interferes with the body's ability to absorb calcium. So that means, you know, possibly cavities, softening of the enamel, and also bad for your bones. So if your body is not able to absorb the calcium that you're eating properly, your bones are going to suffer for it, and you could be setting yourself up for osteoporosis later on in life, which is not good, not something you want to deal with. Nola, I'm sure beer is fine. Don't worry about beer. We'll just talk about pop today. Let's see. Did you also know that it actually makes you crave more food? And typically it makes you crave foods that are higher in fat and calories. And there's a reason for this. So it's very high in sugar. So one can of pop has about 10 teaspoons of sugar. So go grab a teaspoon, measure out 10 teaspoons of sugar, and just kind of see what that looks like in one spot. 10 teaspoons of sugar is ugly, and there's that much in one can of pop, and you wouldn't even think twice about drinking an entire can of pop. So what happens is you drink all this sugar all at once, and your blood sugar just spikes, and then your blood sugar just plummets. So what happens when it plummets is you feel tired, you feel lethargic, you feel like crap. And what happens when that happens? You crave food, you crave calories, because your body is feeling this big drop in energy, so your body is driving you to eat calories to bring that energy back up. So your body's going to drive you to go after those higher calorie foods that are higher in fat as well. So studies have actually shown that people tend to eat more on the days that they consume pop or consume more pop than usual. They actually eat more food because their body is driving them to eat more to get that energy back, and also probably to get some nutrients into your body, because when you have something that's sweet, your body kind of expects to get nutrients with that as well. Like if you're eating fruit, you get nutrients from that, but with pop there's no nutrients in it, so your body will drive you to keep eating until you meet the required vitamins and nutrients that it needs. Hey Valerie, how's it going? It can also cause type 2 diabetes, probably no surprise there. The high sugar content of it. It can lead to insulin resistance, which can eventually lead to type 2 diabetes. And I don't know if you knew this, I didn't know this, but soft drink companies are the largest users of sugar in America. So, you know, think about that for a second, the largest user of sugar. And I'll do a topic on sugar itself one of these days, because it's scary stuff. It's like the most socially acceptable drug that you can start having at like the age of 1. Like, it's terrible what it does to you. But anyways, I'll talk about that another time. So you might be thinking, well, what if I just have diet pop? You know, there's no sugar in that. The problem with that is that it's got those artificial sweeteners, and those are chemicals, and don't even get me started on that. Those are just so terrible. It really messes up your body. Most diet pops are sweetened with aspartame, and aspartame has actually been linked to almost 100 different health problems. So it's actually, you know, more harmful than sugar, and sugar is already really harmful. So some of the things that aspartame has been linked to, seizures, multiple sclerosis, brain tumors, diabetes, and emotional disorders. So I know when I was younger, I suffered a lot with depression and anxiety, and I can't help but think that had something to do with the amount of pop I was consuming, because I was consuming a lot of pop and a lot of diet pop, like it was tons of diet pop. That was like my diet was, you know, drink a ton of diet pop, and then you don't feel hungry, and then you're going to lose a lot of weight because you're consuming no calories. Yay, awesome idea. And when I think back to how terrible that was, like, no wonder I was suffering with depression and anxiety, and that just, you know, that stayed with me for years because I kept drinking diet pop, thinking, you know, what a great idea, because I wanted to lose weight. So anyways, something really kind of gross to note, in warm temperatures, aspartame converts to methanol, and methanol breaks down into formaldehyde and formic acid. I used to work with formaldehyde in the lab when I was working in the lab, and that is some nasty stuff. So something to think about there. So with the sugar-free pops, no, not good at all. Even worse than the ones that are all sugar. So the other thing about pop is it lacks nutrients. There's absolutely no nutritional value in pop at all. No nutritional value at all. It's an unnatural substance, and it harms the body. Dan, which is better, white or brown sugar? Neither. So I know they try to market it as brown sugar being more healthy than white sugar. It might not go through as much processing as white sugar, but when you separate the sugar from the sugar cane, that's where you run into problems. So now all of a sudden you have this isolated sugar that doesn't have, you know, the nutrients you need in order to be able to use it properly for energy in your body. For instance, sugar cane has chromium in it, and chromium is what helps us to use sugar for what it's meant to be used for. So once you strip that away, it's you know, both are going to do huge damage in your body. Like brown sugar is not going to be a healthy alternative. If you need a sweetener, then something like raw honey. So raw honey that you know, hasn't been pasteurized, because the pasteurization process actually kills the nutrients in it. But yeah, sugar, you know, once it's been separated from its source, or pretty much anything once it's been separated from its source, is not going to do well in your body. You're not going to use it as well as you could for nutritional value. So that goes for, you know, like fructose. People figure, oh, well, fructose is okay because that's fruit sugar. It's sugar from fruit. But because it's been separated from fruit, it's going to kind of wreak havoc in your body. And that would be another topic too, actually, to talk about fructose, because that's a pretty scary substance in itself. So it lacks nutrients. Did you also know that pop actually dehydrates you? So, you know, you're totally thirsty and you drink down this pop because it's really thirst quenching, and what you don't realize is that you're actually dehydrating yourself even more. So the high sugar, the high sodium, there's sodium in pop, I don't know if you knew that, and the caffeine. So all of these can cause dehydration, can actually lead to chronic dehydration, which is not something that you want your body to be going through. So fructose is better in the sense that it doesn't cause the high blood sugar spike. It doesn't have the same effect that sucrose does, but fructose causes other issues in the body, mainly an increase in triglycerides, and can actually really be quite harmful to your liver. When it's consumed in the form of fruit, then not so much, because you've got all of the enzymes and vitamins and minerals that you need in the fruit to be able to use the fructose properly, so it doesn't cause issues with your liver. But again, like separating stuff, processing foods, that's where we kind of get into trouble. And how about honey? Yeah, honey, Nolan, honey is definitely a better choice. Like I said, if you've got a source for raw honey, that's going to be best, because pasteurization, you know, it kills the bad stuff that might be in the honey, but it also kills all of the good stuff as well. But if you got a source for raw honey, then yeah, that's a great thing to use as a sweetener, in moderation, of course, because it is dense in calories, but definitely a lot healthier than something that's been processed like sugar has. Hey, Ellie, how's it going? And then the next one, it can lead to fat accumulation in the belly, and that's where things get dangerous. So that is known as visceral fat. So that's the fat that you see in your belly, and the big issue with that is that that fat is actually strangling your organs. So it's actually surrounding your organs and strangling them and making it impossible for them to function properly. So when you see people gaining belly fat, that's more concerning than if someone is gaining fat in their thighs or their butt or their hips. So that's where it can get a little bit dangerous. So pop definitely adds to belly fat. This is another one I didn't really know about. It can create kidney stones. So when you consume pop, your kidneys are placed under massive stress, and this can cause mineral imbalances, which could produce kidney stones. I'm not saying it definitely will cause kidney stones, but it could produce kidney stones. So why put yourself at risk for something that miserable? And then the last one, and I'd heard a little bit about this as well, is that it can actually damage your liver. So pop has been shown to cause the same sort of damage to your liver that alcohol does. So they're finding kids developing fatty liver because they're eating or they're drinking too much pop. They're eating too much sugar in general. So fatty liver disease is usually what you associate with overconsumption of alcohol, but pop is actually causing this, and it's just sad that it's causing it in kids. Like, kids are going through these issues that you didn't used to see in kids, and it's just over consuming pop and sugar and really unhealthy stuff. So those are some things. That was 10 things, and that's kind of an eye-opener as to why pop is so bad. I'll post it in my blog too if you want to look over it and read that. So that's at holyfit.ca. So some good ones there. It took me a long time to get off of pop because I really was addicted to diet pop, and I seriously thought that I was doing myself some really good stuff by drinking diet pop because it was thirst quenching and it tasted good, it had no calories, and that just seemed like the best thing in the world. So if you are drinking pop now and you want to stop, I suggest weaning yourself off, and that way you don't suffer so much from the headaches that you might feel from the withdrawal from the caffeine and the sugar and that kind of thing. So definitely a good thing to start taking out of your diet. And if you are, what you can try doing, this is what I do, is I use soda water quite a bit. You can get low sodium soda water, so take a look for that if sodium is an issue for you. And you can flavor that. You could add some, you could do some fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, like you take a grapefruit or half a lemon or whatever, just squeeze it in there for some flavor if you need it, or adding some essential oils. I have essential oils that I like to add. This is the company's this particular oil that I like to use. It's Ameo, A-M-E-O. And yeah, it actually adds a little bit of that lemony flavor to your water, which is kind of nice and refreshing, and there's no sugar or anything. So that could be an idea of getting yourself off of the pop. And like any habit, it's going to be difficult to quit, and the best thing to do is to replace it with something. That's why I was giving you some ideas there with flavoring soda water, but definitely worth the effort for sure. Nolan, you don't drink them, but energy drinks energy drinks are so bad. I mean, not only the sugar and the artificial colors and all the caffeine and that terrible thing that happened, that I think it was a fairly young kid, and he had drank coffee and energy drinks and had so much caffeine that he actually ended up dying from a heart attack. So yeah, those energy drinks are so bad. I don't think they should be on shelves in corner stores where kids have access to them. It's terrible. Yeah, good point. Hey, Alyssa, how's it going? Yeah, Dan, lemon juice. I love putting lemon in water. It's really, really good. Definitely really refreshing and good for you as well. Hey, Stephen. So I got to run. I've got a client coming in pretty soon, so I better get going and wrap this up. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can always message me if you want to. And thank you so much for your comments, you guys. I love it when you comment and participate, and I don't feel like I'm all alone here. So thanks for all those comments. And I will talk to you again real soon. Take care.